Welcome to the DSEF. The Direct Selling Executives Forum was created to be a place where real direct selling executives and vendors in the space can come out and share solutions to challenges that face us all in the marketplace. Our guest today is going to be unpacking a topic and sharing their raw thoughts for you to learn from. All right, let's go meet our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Direct Selling Executives Forum's next episode on the Open Forum. Today, Omar Qureshi will be our host, and we have a very special guest I'll be bringing out to share on our topic. We are unpacking frameworks for hiring outside of direct sales. This is such an important topic as we expand and grow and the industry changes, is not all your best candidates will be within the direct selling industry. There's going to be wisdom from the outside. And when we thought about this topic and read your questions about this topic, we said, man, no one better to bring to speak to this Mr. Carlos Perez. Now, Carlos, we're so excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we kick off the show and have Omar bring you out, I wanted to just read a little bit about Carlos to those that haven't met you before. Carlos has served for over 25 years in both VP and C-level titles across the direct sales and e-commerce space. Companies you may know are Nu Skin, Regal Ware, VIVRI, Recruitment.com. Carlos Perez is now the managing partner of CP Krell Group, a recruitment firm that specializes in beauty, wellness, and fashion industries in all channels. And what I've always appreciated about connecting with Carlos and hearing these stories is he literally has brought incredible executives from outside the space, inside the space, and is very qualified to speak on this topic. So thank you so much, Carlos, for being here today. It's just an absolute treasure to have you on.
Thank you, Ben, for the opportunity. I was really looking forward to talking to you. And I love the subject, so I'm excited.
Well, we're going to have fun today. All right, with that, Omar, it's yours. Let's go ahead and get started.
Thank you, Ben, and very warm welcome to Carlos. We are so grateful to have you on today's DSEF today. We have a very interesting topic, and that is frameworks for hiring outside of direct sales. Carlos, you have placed hundreds of candidates in direct selling companies as executives. You have publicly shared that many companies today we want to hire from outside of direct sales space. What do you think is driving the new thinking?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And I do have to give you my own perspective, having been in both channels, because like Ben mentioned, I started my career in direct sales working for awesome companies, but then I went to the e-commerce space, and I realized at that time that maybe as an executive back in the direct sales, I was missing the mark on a lot of trends and a lot of understanding better how the consumer works nowadays, what kicks their desire to go and buy. So nowadays, when I work with companies, it's all about understanding what keeps them up at night, right? What's stopping the sales to coming in. And so, to your questions, when I work with companies, I try to often understand what's available for them out there in the market. Because in the beauty, wellness, and fashion, those industries that we concentrate on, there's a lot of great technology. There's a lot of great skills that can definitely help direct sales that I don't think we have used as much in the past as we should, if that helps.
That's something you just said, Carlos. I think we got to hear again, because many times in the direct sales space, our passion is around the promoter. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Think about, getting started at Nu Skin years ago. I mean, every day, many times we're thinking about what is the promoter's life like? What is their desires like? What's their why? How do we help them win? And then when you shifted to your e-commerce career, you're like, it's completely different. You're thinking about, you said, understanding how the consumer works, what creates their desire to go and buy. And I just want to highlight that for a second to everyone listening, because you have to think about both. Like if you're in referral marketing and you're going to win today, you need to have somebody who's owning the customer experience or the retail customer experience and that desire to buy. And of course, and you got to be able to understand the motivation of your referral agents. That's a solid thought, Carlos. That's really good stuff.
Yeah, 100% with you. Having been there and being the VP of sales and teaching everybody how to recruit and so on. I think now that, of course, that's how the companies are going to grow. But most important is how many consumers can we have in our pipeline? Because not everybody wants to become a distributor. That's the reality. And especially the newer generations, right? I mean, I think about my kids. When I started, I was pretty young in direct sales. But now my kids, they're online all the time. They're buying beauty products, health products, but they don't necessarily want to become distributors. So I think when you looked at at the landscape of what's out there and who's buying beauty, wellness, and fashion, which is, what primarily direct sellers do. It is the millennials, is it the Gen Zs? Some of them might benefit with the business opportunity that direct sales offers, but I think we miss the opportunity of having thousands of consumers out there because the way we approach them, which is very differently than the traditional marketers out there do it.
Yeah. Absolutely true. What a great insight, Carlos. Right. My second question is for companies that want to hire outside of the direct selling space, what framework would you invite them to follow?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that companies that want to hire outside, they first of all have to look at the landscape of what they have internally. Do they have the talent that can they develop to that point where they want to be at? And second, if they don't, then let's talk about it. And third, are they really committed to explore those channels? Because I don't think it's only bringing the people that know how to do it, but it's to be willing to invest on the technology and on the digital skills that sometimes you have to buy, right? And on the paid media and on the advertising and all the stuff that comes along with that. It's not only having the talent that is going to come on board, but it's also being committed 100% on implementing those tools and skills and let those people run the program. Because sometimes I think, and I've seen it, where they think they want to transform the company digitally, and they want to do this, and they want to reach out to different markets and targets and demographics, but then they get a little cold feet when the person that they bring on board just wants to do all this crazy stuff, right? That somehow works.
Yeah.
But we got to think of, if a company wants to really go on that route, they need to think outside the box and commit themselves to do it.
It's a really good point, Carlos, what you just said. I've actually seen this on the show. There's been a pitfall and a complaint when we've had episodes from people who are into growing sales channels or keys to motivating the field, or all these where they said, hey, I got hired to do a job and then I wasn't given any of the resources to do the job, is what we've heard from other executives in the space. So I just want to pause and echo what you just said, because I think that if you're listening on the podcast, you're on the live stream today, you're in our LinkedIn group, and you're sitting here saying, okay, how do I apply principles and frameworks here? It's that instead of just writing a job description, hear what Carlos said, you need to write your investment commitment to that channel. The person's salary is not the only cost you're going to have in opening an influencer channel or a customer rewards channel or a special leadership incentives channel for your brand ambassadors. Whatever that is that you're wanting to grow by hiring this person, your plan needs to extend beyond their salary to also the resources you plan to allocate, both people and money, to that channel. It's a powerful thought, Carlos.
True.
Yeah. And I think, when what we're really talking about is bringing more marketers into direct sales that understands the trends of what's going on with the traditional market. We're talking about people who know how to do performance marketing, affiliate marketing, paid media, and all that stuff, which, in the past, we would never thought, right, that our direct sellers, we will go there. But that's the reality of where we live in, because the consumers are now buying online. That's who we are. I do it. I love buying online.
Yeah, they're sitting on the couch,
right?
Drinking the coffee on the iPad, scrolling and tapping.
Exactly.
The new thing.
Between my wife and I think is Amazon packages coming in and out here all the time. That's how we do it, right? So we can't deny it. And so I think, again, are we as a company committed to then, if we bring a marketer that knows how to do that, or a digital guy or a tech guy, are we going to invest in performance marketing and pay media and affiliate programs, in addition to the other programs that direct sales runs, which are great? Sure. But I think you got to understand also your buyer for the categories that you're running. And you got to understand that in beauty, for instance, most of the buyers are millennials, and millennials nowadays are buying online. That's their preference. That's interesting though, because when you look at the buyers in the traditional markets in general in the beauty industry is millennials, but when you looked at the direct sales, is no millennials. It's people that are older, right? 35 to 44, whereas millennials are between 26 and up. So see, there's a little disconnect right there. So if you want to bring someone that is going to elevate you to get to that consumer, then okay, what else are we going to do that? It's like you said, Ben, right? It's the whole business plan on how we're going to target that market.
Yeah, and are you
Wow,
fishing
what
in
a
the right
great
place?
insight.
Are they fishing in the right place? You know, we say that all the time. So
Exactly.
some of you have products that are TikTok products, and you're trying to do it at the home party.
Yeah.
Some of you are bringing your home party stuff to TikTok. It's not working. So you gotta understand what's going to be a wow. And there's a couple of clients I've seen who've done some great stuff in there. I think about I've just as a case studies, if you haven't seen these, gang, if you look up programs like Red Aspen or even Savvy with their or we've had speakers on here from a number of the leggings companies. You know what you'll see is the board in those companies for fashion, clothing, and I mean I can name a bunch of them here, gang, but so not trying to give one credit over the other, but you'll see very social, easy to demonstrate on social media product. Like it's just a fast wow, you know. But it's like the lipstick, oh wow, you know, or the nails, oh wow. And then you get over to the leggings, and it's just wow. When these leggings are on, whoop, like, how good I feel. Like that's all it is, gang. It's very easy in 7 seconds to say, it does look good. And that's that 26-year-old. So that's what Carlos is talking about.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know how many times you share a fun video on TikTok or you know, to your family or friends or in Instagram. I do it all the time. You know, recipes, this and that. It's just natural for us, right? So to me, I see these as an extension to direct sales, an upgrade, right, of where we've been. Where, you know, traditionally we're just, you know, telling the whole story, which is great, of course. But there's just, I say to my clients, let's just use, you know, what's out there, what technology and the trends the markets are offering to us to build a channel.
Wonderful.
Yeah, instead of creating new demand, going to where the demand already is. That's what you
exactly.
Exactly. So important. Some of you spend so much money trying to create demand when you could just go to where demand already is.
Exactly. Go where they're buying, right? Meeting at their place where they're comfortable at, right?
Huge.
So
huge.
Wonderful. What a great insight from you, both of you guys. Thank you very much. My third question is for Carlos, is what pitfalls have you seen companies run into when expanding outside of direct selling contacts?
You know, I think it's what we talked about a little bit, right? So I've seen companies that feel that they are committed, that they want to do it, that they want to go through these digital transformations, that they want to think outside the box, yet they hire someone and they just don't let them execute. So, you know, to me as a recruiter, I'll give you this perspective. You know, when I was in corporate, I was recruited by a lot of people. Actually, all my jobs I got through recruiters, and it was great, and I'm grateful for that. However, I felt that sometimes I was recruited to companies where I was brought to do a job of transforming the company, doing this and that. But then once I got there, surprise is, you know, there was just not that full commitment. It was their baby. They didn't want to let go. They want to try different things. So before you bring someone on board, make sure you're committed to it. Make sure that you're open. And because I tell you one thing, our job as recruiters, bringing people that are not from the industry, is a lot of education, right? I need to educate people. And, you know, when I talk to executives from Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, Revlon, that have done traditional marketing or sales for many years in those channels that have been very successful, and I'll tell them, hey, I want you to come and, you know, help this company who is going to sell through direct sales. There's like, I'm not sure I can do that, right? So my job is to educate these people, but to educating, which is a great channel, and tell them about how wonderful the channel is. Once we do that, the expectation is that they'll come and they'll not only understand about the channel, but start adding to the channel all the skill sets that they build throughout the years. So I think that that's the number one pitfall. It's just committing to what you said you were going to do.
Great insight. Thank you. The last thing I would like to ask you, Carlos, is for someone who's ready to hire outside the space, where would you invite them to start? The first steps.
Yeah, I think it's Ben. You touched on it briefly. Is understand where your buyer, right? Not only the distributor, but okay, if you're a beauty company, no, again, like we just said, is, you know, beauty companies are mostly bought by millennials who buy online, right? In fact, you know, I think last year it was about 2,600 average spend per millennial on beauty products, right?
Wow.
Health and wellness products is mostly bought by, you know, Gen Z and Gen X, and they spend thousands of products. thousands of money buying products, not necessarily from direct sellers. They're out there buying it. So why don't we just go and meet in where they're at through digital tools that are available to all of us? Again, they might not become a distributor upfront. They'll become great consumers, but I guarantee you they're going to share the product with everybody if it works. And I think that's the advantage of direct sales, is the product innovation and the great products that we have out there. I still, most of the products that I use are from direct sales because I love the products, right? There's just a lot of innovation into the products, a lot of science behind them. So if that's the case, and you combine those awesome products with putting in the hands of those younger people who are using them and buying them, then automatically they're going to share them because they love them. So I think yes, it is about the distributors building an organization, but I think that will come in time, and you can continue to work with that with your sales teams and so on. But I think you just got to meet the consumer out there.
What's so good about what Carlos is saying is we've actually seen that as a trend internally. Like if you would have asked me, 7 years ago, Carlos, when we're building software for direct selling companies and the work we do, like, how many people have a customer rewards program that goes along with their MLM compensation plan? I would say, 1 out of 10, asks us to build like a refer to free, or refer 3 and it's free, or a refer a customer and get a gift card towards your next purchase, or free shipping, or a bonus gift. And our party plan clients always did. They had the hostess and the hostess report. But out of our MLM clients 7 years ago, I would have said, maybe 1 out of 10. And today, oh my God, today, when Omar and I work with clients, it's 10 out of 10. Like I haven't done a project, I think the last 2+ years, where the client didn't have some type of incentive for this retail customer to share. And in the database, they're literally raising their hand saying, hey, I'm a fan enough of this product. I'm a fan enough to share. And in some of your programs, that makes that person a candidate to become a promoter themselves, or a candidate to become a distributor themselves. Of your programs, it just means treat them differently. They're a classification of a fan that's not only buying from the customer, but is sharing and earning free gift cards. And it's really interesting because they become a lead for the rest. You see companies in the past like Beachbody and Trivita, even in a decade ago, were known for doing the work to acquire a retail customer for the promoter. Trivita would spend all this money on TV commercials selling Nopal cactus, samples to senior citizens traditionally, and so if you ever stayed at a hotel in the 2000s, you probably saw an ad for a Nopal cactus juice from Trivita. If you have been in once again, any infomercial any time of night in America, you've seen Beachbody, right? So these brands did a very good job of buying low cost television time, converting that into retail customers, and then getting that customer to their promoter. And today, we're not asking clients to go buy TV time. Like we're not asking them to invest in, and you could, maybe that's you. Maybe you're on this line and you hire an executive outside of direct selling space, and you're really good at buying the low cost TV time, stream time ads. Maybe that is your niche. But we're saying go fish where your customer is. And then as they become a fan, have a path in your business for that person to share, raise their hand and become a promoter, and be lead generation to your promoter army. Right. And that's going to, Oh, go ahead, Carlos.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, but I get excited about this because I tell you, all the stuff that you say is right on point. And that is incredible how all those little incentives out there, all those rewards change our behavior as buyers, right? Cool. Because now what do we expect? As soon as we go to a new website and we're going to buy, automatically there will be an email, get a 10%, right? Give us your email address. Boom, there you go. You're waiting for that. You put in your car, you don't buy it, and then you get an email saying, hey, get an extra 10%, right? Buy now. We're kind of conditioning ourselves to get those rewards nowadays, right? And then the other thing that I think is as a consumer that we need to be conscious of as direct sellers is that the reviews are everywhere, right? I mean, I usually, when I buy in Amazon or everywhere in e-commerce, I go and look, right, at the reviews. So what are we doing, right, with our products as direct sellers to drive and to incentivize consumers to just do those behaviors that will help our brands and enhance our brand,
Totally.
Is it either promoting it or reviewing it, whatever. I think it's a different ball game nowadays.
It totally is. And you can have fun with this game. What you're hearing, Carlos.
Oh, yeah.
fun stuff. I mean, if I told you how many of my clients did a drawing for a $200 Amazon gift card to a random person this week, or is giving away this MacBook Pro to the person that did XYZ this week. You can have so much fun driving these. I've seen people give away free vacations, laptops. I've seen gift cards. I've seen all kinds of stuff. Just baskets of your own product. If you're a beauty company, I've seen people just fill up this beautiful basket. They put it on social media and say, "This is the basket this week that's going to go out to the person who shares their story with this hashtag." Everyone sharing their story on this hashtag, and they get on the team call and say, "Person number 3737 is Julia from Ohio," and like that's literally, it's fun stuff. But sometimes you get stale. It happens to all of us. You get stuck, and you're stuck, and a fresh brain, a fresh thought can open up all these worlds of possibility. But as we wrap up here, Carlos, to share today, gang, don't hire the person if you're not willing to invest in what's going to take for that person to be successful. Right? You gotta hear that truth. That was a solid note today from Carlos.
And be open-minded, right? And understand what the industry in general. When I say the industry, I mean beauty, wellness, whatever you're at. Understand your industry and where the buyer is. I think that's and I love what you do, by the way, Ben. And I think when you and I met first, I was like, and I looked at your technology, like, I wish I would have had that back when I was in direct sales. Man, that would have been so awesome. Because then again, you put it in the hands of the distributors to see how they're performing and how they can motivate their groups. Because again, just all the stuff that you talked about, the raffles and incentives and all that, that's stuff that your distributors will duplicate within their own organizations. So I think that's great that you're doing that.
Oh, thank you. And I feel the same way. I remember being a little kid distributor when I was 18 in the space, and what we did, even 16 years ago versus, or 17 years ago, getting older, right? 17, 18 years ago now, and what it's like to build today. And it's just a totally different game. And you got to be trends. That's why the DSCF is so great. These are, Carlos has no idea here. Like, he's literally just sharing. And if you look at any of the other members in this season, people who have come to the show are sharing what they're seeing and what's real right now, what they're interacting with. And Carlos, projects. We're in a bunch of projects. You see the executives we had on last week and the guest we have next week. That's going to be awesome. They're doing real stuff right now. They're not talking about what they experienced 7 years ago. Like, this is like today. What is happening right now?
Yeah.
So that's why we're so grateful for this. So thank you so much, Carlos, for being on here. To check out all things Carlos, go to his CP Krell website. Add Carlos on LinkedIn. He's a good guy to follow on LinkedIn. Everybody, he's got content.
Thank you.
Do follow Carlos on LinkedIn. You're missing out if you don't do that. And for those of you that are watching on live stream that haven't yet received or accepted an invitation to the LinkedIn group for Direct Selling Executives Forum, go to www.directsellingexitivesforum.com to join, or go to Direct Selling, just search in Direct Selling Executives Forum on LinkedIn, and you can apply there absolutely free. You'll get access to the rest of the insider panels and all else that's going on. Omar, it was a pleasure to have you host today. Thank you so much for being on the line.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. I loved it. It's always great to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
You got it. Have a blessed day, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye for now.
You too.
And
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
If you haven't yet joined the DSCF group on LinkedIn, go to directselling.executiveforum.com or go on LinkedIn and search for Direct Selling Executive Forum to apply. The group is free and is an invite-only community of direct selling executives by direct selling executives.